Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the the Gwentlemen talk show. And it's a very special episode. Today, as you can see, we still have a degenerate. Swim couldn't be with us, but fortunately, we've got the lovely Merchant here on the talk show.
Stand in degenerate. Let's go.
Yeah, you are the filler degenerate. We also have the lovely Freddybabes.
What's up?
Recently taken part in Grand Slam and the upcoming challenger. And we have the community manager for CD Projekt Red, the infamous Pebble Burza.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And seeing as we're speaking of Gwent Slam, I feel like most people do know who you people are, so we'll just get into Gwent Slam and we'll talk about that a little bit. Obviously, Merchant, you were there casting, and Freddie, you were there playing Gaunter.
That's going to be a hot topic, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, we are going to have to talk about that. So I guess first and foremost, Merchant, tell us a little bit about the kind of casting side of things, and what kind of Gwent Slam is like from that perspective.
Yeah, it's really great. Like, it's nice. It's like a black and white thing, right? It's super nice contrast. So at CDPR, obviously we have like Rafal and Powell and stuff, making sure everything's like super smooth and like a well-oiled machine. And then you just have like the sheer chaos of Gwent Slam, where it's like who wants to cast the next game? Oh fuck, I don't know. Somebody sit on the couch, like, and you're kind of like the game's loading up and you're getting handed deck lists and you're like, oh fuck. So that's fun, but legitimately, it is fun, and I actually think because it's so like not unstructured, but because it's so like informal and relaxed, I think that's part of what makes the event just feel so fun. I almost feel like it's something where, unlike an open where you want it to be like as awesome and as impressive as possible, with Gwent Slam, it's kind of like the less hands-on you are, the more fun everyone has, so the better it comes out. So yeah, I think it's really cool. It's a really relaxed way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like having a holiday with all your Gwent buddies, you know. Yeah. Pretty much that's it, and a few competitive games in there as well.
Yeah, gangs it's really together. Cool. Right. So in terms of the games, I do think we have to talk about Gaunter Dim a little bit because Freddie is here, and that will tie into RNG, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But first and foremost, Freddie, I guess explain Gaunter for the people. Just like as I guess the main question people have is why.
Well, basically, quite a while ago, I promised that I'd play like the big memes in a tournament at some point, and like since only Challenger is coming up after this for me, I was like, yeah, this is a good opportunity to do it, and make good on my promise. So it was a lot of fun, basically.
So it's a $10,000 tournament, but yeah, we can bring Gaunter. Yeah, it'll be memes. Fine.
I mean, it could have worked out, right?
Freddie's baller as fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about 10k. He's got Challenger. Let's go.
He's just gonna high roll his way through the Challenger.
Yeah, Freddie was burning money. He was lighting cigars with money the entire weekend. It was fucking crazy.
That doesn't sound like Freddie. He's very peaceful and calm. Yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, but after 8 p.m., savage.
Wow.
I think, in fairness, you could make an argument for Gaunter in tournaments because I believe you guys get deck lists on day 2, so you would know exactly what you're up against in terms of your opponent's deck. So that makes it a little bit of a safer card. And like if you do, if you get it correct, you're drawing a card, and that's huge. I guess for me, like my main concern was like I don't get why you went low at all. I'm just like what?
I walked up to him after the game and I said that. I was like, why the fuck did you go low? He's like, I thought they had a Slizzard.
It was bad. I barely thought about it, really. I was just like, oh my god, I'm playing Gaunter, what am I doing? Just pick a thing, let it happen. Yeah, the rule is you always go high, but I forgot that, so whoops.
But speaking of high rolling, I know there's been a lot of conversation in the community recently about RNG in Gwent and RNG in tournaments and kind of high rolling decks, taking, say, Weather and hoping that your opponents don't bring Weather Clear, for example, against Gold Weather. And also that ties into the new cards, which we'll talk about later. So how do we feel about tournaments, and how do we feel about the amount of RNG in tournaments that may cause less skilled players to beat more skilled players in terms of how people perceive the players? I guess we'll start with Merchant and then we can talk to everyone else.
Okay, I think that I think in a grand sense it's fine, but I do feel like this Gwent Slam was actually the first tournament we've had that was maybe a little bit marred by quite a few RNG factors playing in my opinion, you saw both Game King and Shaggy, not solely, but get eliminated partially because especially the Unseen Elder decks were failing to draw the necessary cards. Like, Shaggy especially, no neckers, he was out. Like, and it happened to Game King later as well. So, I feel like because of the sort of very present nature of Unseen Elder, and that is one of the more draw RNG dependent decks. We saw it a little bit more this tournament than you usually would, especially because like the high efficiency stuff like Nilfgaard was getting banned out, so the less efficiency, more high rolly stuff was being seen more. So I think that kind of spurred everybody up when it comes to talking about tournament RNG. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, like tournaments they're often pretty weird, like because a lot of the games can kind of be decided before the tournament in a way. Like if you just have decks that are like way better than your opponents, then you're gonna win a fair amount of games. And yeah, I mean, like the matchups are often rock paper scissory, kind of like weather's good against no weather clears. Weather clears are bad against the deck with no weather, right? So things like that. I don't think you can get around it in like card games like this.
Yeah, you will always have this element of RNG. I also think that there's more discussion right now because we're adding a little bit more cards that are RNG heavy, and these cards are mainly targeted towards the new game mode. And players are already thinking that these are cards that are going to see competitive play. Well, they won't, because you're in a tournament environment. You want to draw the best cards, and you want to have control over the RNG. So we don't want rock, paper, scissors and boom, something happens. We just want it to be, a little bit separated. Like you guys know, we're still working on the core set, let's say, for Gwent. So to actually have the core cards, and based on that, we can add more stuff. But I mean, new game mode is where the RNG cards will shine.
I think also it's fair to say that with Shaggy and Game King, for example, they chose a deck that was high risk. Like if you're choosing to run a deck that's solely dependent on drawing neckers, then you run that risk that you could not draw neckers. That's, I think, a choice for the player. They can choose to bring those decks, or they could have chosen to bring Eridan, or they could have chosen to bring, say, a consume deck that isn't reliant on playing neckers and necker warriors, because there are, some variants of that people bring. Like I think Freddie, when you went open, you had a necker deck, but it wasn't a necker warrior deck. So there are options, and some players will choose to take decks that are maybe higher risk in order to get that higher reward and try and win thousands of dollars. And I think that's fair to say. The other thing about RNG is that, as Burza says, the new cards, ultimately, if the new cards have an average draw that's better than playing non-RNG cards, it all comes out to how they average out. If they average out being better than non-RNG cards, they'll see playing competitive. If their average performance isn't better, they won't. And for a lot of them, there's such a huge number of cards that they're drawing from that I think the average is going to be fairly low compared to, say, drawing more consistent cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I think some of them, inevitably, some of them will end up seeing play. Because we already have like cards that, while not strictly defined RNG, they do have randomish elements to them, and they're pretty good. Like, when your Philippa hits just right, it's pretty bloody good, but that is essentially a random effect, right? So I think it's inevitable that one or two of them will end up being competitively viable. Cards like Winch, for instance, will probably be viable. But I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing, and I've already spoken about that. But I think like when you're looking at cards like Uma and stuff like this, like they're fun cards, they're meme cards. They're not cards that are going to define how the game is played if you choose to sit down and play Gwent competitively. They're cards that are going to define how the game is played if you choose to sit down and play one or two games for fun and want to make something crazy. Like that's the gap in playstyle that I don't see people discussing personally.
Yeah, I mean, the best decks in Gwent are always the like really consistent ones, right? So you don't want to play like Uma. That's not really going to work out most of the time.
No, it's going to be great. You're going to get Camby, you're going to get Drow, and you're going to get Saskia Dragonfire. Those are going to be your choices, and then you're going to forfeit and uninstall it. It's going to be great.
I'm just waiting for the highlight clips of like craziness happening. It's going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
I agree. I think part of it is also going to bring kind of more eyes to Gwent, because you do get these more crazy plays that are maybe RNG reliant. happening in, say, casual and in the new game mode when we get that. For example, we're talking about winch. Imagine in a winch situation where you manage to winch out 3 of the same machine, then you Naneki them back into your deck, and then Shani like 5 or 6 machines. It's gonna be hilarious, and people are gonna be like, oh, look at this 200-point play that I made that like doesn't happen, 98 million% of the time. But I think that's gonna be really exciting, and I can kind of understand why I think like CDPR is going in this direction. Burza, do you have anything to add to that?
What can I add to that? I don't think I have anything to add to that. That was just perfect.
So ultimately, like, it's good to talk about RNG and it's good to see passion in the community, but I guess we'll just wait and see, because we've only seen like 40 cards from the set as well. So
you haven't seen everything. I mean, there are more cards that are not as heavy on RNG. I think players will recognize that. I mean, our, let's say, idea for the game hasn't changed in any way. We still want to have control over the randomness. Of course, it's a card game, so you will have random elements, but we want to keep it to a minimum. Aside from crazy cards like Gaunter or like Uma or Avalak the Sage, yeah.
It's okay because we have Saskia Dragonfire, which is the best counter to Avalak the Sage. So if Avalak the Sage ever becomes meta, you can just start running Saskia in your decks and just permanently mulligan her.
Yeah,
that's basically what's happened. See, it's like self-fixing. Anyway, we do have a kind of question for you guys. The Gwentlemen weekly exercise assigned by alerts. He always gives us a question.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we have to pick a player each who has never appeared in Gwent Slam or Gwent Open or Gwent Challenger events that we would like to see get a chance in future events and see how they fare in a live setting versus, say, a online setting. And I guess we'll start with Freddie because he's been to all of them, more or less.
Yeah, I think you have to go with my boy Crokies.
Yes.
I'd love to see him in an event. That'd be top notch. Yeah. What can I say?
Okay, I think that's a fair suggestion. Crokies, I think Crokies is a really good player, and he does enter like Gwentlemen Opens, and you see him participating in these elimination brackets for, say, Challenger and for Slam, and hopefully we'll get to see him one day. Merchant, who are you going to pick?
I'm going to go with Inksankpa. I'd really like to see him in a tournament. I think he's awesome.
That was a good one.
I think he's just a really nice guy. I think he's like a really great person to have in the scene. Very like cool, creative guy and a great player. And I'd like to see a Korean player at a tournament. That'd be cool. So yeah, I'd say Inksankpa. But there's a bunch Crokies is an amazing answer. Raikou. Like there's like Mago, like there's
Merchant's
a bunch.
Just stealing really everyone's answers now.
Yeah, I'm gonna list every single answer, man. So you're all fucked.
Burza, who would you like to see participate in Gwent Slam or Gwent Open or what have you?
I would really want to see like Duofano. Andre Strasky, I would like to see Strasky in the tournament. Yes. I mean, he's a great MTG player and he should be in any one of our tournaments. He's trying really, really hard, but it hasn't been going like super well as he wants. But for him and for the good of the game, it would be just epic. Yeah.
Yeah, Strasky would be awesome.
Oh, and of course, my friend JJ Pasak. I want him to be in the tournament finally.
Yeah, but I think if Pasak comes, everyone has to bring Radovid decks that run Shani. Just you've got to do it, and actually, he's got to beat Radovid three times in order to win. It's a special like JJ Pasak edition of Gwent Slam. It's coming up soon.
JJ Pasak Slam. Can you imagine?
Perfect. It's gonna be fantastic. I mean, one person I'd like to see, who's quite new on the scene, is Ash Lizzle. You can tell, like, has a real thirst for victory. I see her tweeting a lot about trying to get to Grandmaster and stuff, and she's quite new, so she's not yet on the pro ladder. But I think she is, she's a really awesome person. She's a lovely member of the community, and she's kind of someone who's a bit newer. But I think it would be really cool to see her attend an event and showcase what she's got for Skellige, of course. So that's my answer. But moving on, we should start talking about new cards and card reveals. Now we do have a dev stream tomorrow, but we also had a dev stream 2 days ago because this is like the week of dev streams. And somebody pick a new card and we'll start talking about it. We'll go with Freddie. Should
we go with Boulder? The first one.
Did you know that when you get older, you may in fact be crushed by a boulder. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Oh,
fact.
I've actually heard that. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Okay, so what have you got to say about Boulder?
I don't know. It looks pretty groovy. It's kind of like Thunder right now, but a little bit better, right? So yeah, maybe a lot better. Who knows?
Freddie, I love your analysis. So.
Perfect.
Who knows? Looks like a cool card. Everybody's gonna have a nice time.
I mean, you could say that it rocks, you know? Who knows?
Oh.
Fucking hell.
I'm sorry. So the thing that people are saying about Boulder is that it's strictly better than Alzur's Thunder because it does 7 damage the same, but if you move it into a different row, then it can potentially kill units, so then you have that added benefit. On the flip side, Thunder is a spell, and Boulder is organic, so that makes a lot of difference in terms of targeted draw.
It also depends what Alzur's does now, so it might have a slight change to it. So I wouldn't rule it out.
Burza,
in terms of numbers, I wouldn't rule it out because the numbers might be a little bit different on Alzur's Thunder. So
17. Let's go.
That'd be crazy.
Would you say that is a leak?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Chat is saying yes, so.
Yep, so there we go. We have our first official Gwentlemen talk show leak. I mean, Burza's here, so we're gonna hear things, and people are gonna call them leaks. And so I have the official leak for leaks. I made this just so you know, like,
good.
Appreciate me.
We appreciate you.
Okay, so Boulder, I think it does depend on Alzur's Thunder. Someone else pick a card. Merchant, pick a card. Any card.
Can I actually pick a card, or do I have to read them in the order?
No, you can literally pick a card.
Okay, yeah. All right. I'm gonna pick. I actually, to be fair, it is the next one on the list, but I actually like Spear. I think Spear is a pretty cool card.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you're running something like Manskull or anything that synergizes with like Toad Prince, is also going to make Spear like pretty great, right? Like, it's going to be good. I think Spear is going to be like legitimately kind of an interesting card.
I mean, we also have the new Northern Realms card, the Tormented Mage, and he target draws items, right? So
yeah, exactly.
You could use him with Spear plus Thaler or Trollolol, and that gives you quite a lot of damage.
I think people have like slept on Spear because they used to like Leo Bonhart, where it's like a reveal thing. But Spear, it doesn't even have to be revealed. Like, honestly, like I think that card is potentially pretty nuts. It's like an easy 11, 12 point single target removal card that's a bronze. Like, it seems right, even with Burza's card. Just run a Spear, play Burza, you chew to like 12 damage, you get like a 17 point silver off of Yavin, and then you get removal, 17 points of tempo. It's a great card. I think Spear is like actually going to end up being a really good card, personally.
And that's like, you know, there's more weapons coming, so I think it'll be interesting.
More weapons coming. I mean, you did last time you were on the show. I think you did showcase a picture of a sword that soon became a picture of a leak. But so we do know there are some more items coming. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But I mean, would you say that Spear is playable by itself? Would you feel like it's one of these cards that needs a card that draws it? You know, like Burza's card, for example.
Well, I think there's going to be cards that draw it. So by that logic, it's going to be played when you run that card. But because you're not going to run anything at like suboptimal efficiency, are you? But I think if it went in the game as the game exists now, it would be playable. But from what I'm seeing from the new cards and maybe a little bit of increase of power across the board, I think it's probably going to mostly be tutored. But that's a good thing. That's like a hallmark of Gwent, and I like that. I like that cards synergize with what's in your deck. And I feel kind of silly highlighting it because it's not one of the flashier cards, but I do think it could end up being one of the better cards for sure. So.
Yeah, I think tomorrow we're also showing another card that tutors weapons, specifically bronzes. So yeah, you should check that out. Yeah.
See, now chat can spam leak. Okay, Pebble, you have to pick a card, but you can't pick Pavko Gale. I'm going to put that as a rule.
I know. Well, I really want to talk about the new Yennefer Tremors. Since we're going all the way to gold, she being on Nilfgaardian, card. What do you guys think about her overall? So spawn the last bronze or silver spell you played.
Ooh, it's Earthno for Nilfgaard. This is another one where it's so tricky because it's like judging this card before we get to see Nilfgaard's full array of bronze and silver spells is like going to make us look silly. So I'm going to say if they get anything good, this card will be good.
But you've also got the current set of bronze and silver spells, so you have some options there. And I think it's an interesting card because it doubles, it doubles whatever silver that you want to play. So if you have a good silver, then of course it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Or a bronze, obviously.
Yeah, I think it looks really strong, but we'll have to wait and see.
I just like Nilfgaard. I like Nilfgaard getting a yen. Nilfgaard getting a Yennefer is cool as well. I like it.
Yeah. Fits the lore.
The one thing is fair. Assuming the card reveal webpage is organized by strength, we can expect to see at least 7 more specials from Nilfgaard. If it's not organized by strength, then this is like a high tier bamboozle by CD Projekt Red. But if it is,
it's not.
So we can expect to see 7 more special cards that are just Nilfgaard exclusive. So I think Yennefer Tremors, we're going to see some. We're going to see some spells.
Shit, yeah, it is actually organized by strength. You've been
job,
called out, Burza, a little bit. It is. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was working on the layout, so I can tell you that the layout, pretty much the idea for it is to be organized by strength. So, of course there needs to be room for leaders because leaders are coming. So we'll be showcasing the first, I think 2, if I remember correctly, leaders tomorrow. So I hope everybody enjoys that.
It's going to be a leader, right? So I've actually spent a lot of time looking at this because when I did my review, I was saying, maybe we'll see 4 golds per faction, 5 golds per faction. But assuming the first card is a leader, you can then work out roughly how many silvers and golds per faction there are. So for those of you who like leaks, go count.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Oh, I have to pick a card now.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with, where's Fidget Spinner? Oh, wait, that was last time. I'm going to go with actually Beastmaster, because during the dev stream, we saw Beastmaster. He's the 1 strength, and he summons a 11 strength bear. Yeah. And the bear that was shown on the dev stream did not have a doomed tag, which means if we can get more bears into your graveyard, I'm really excited for a Beastmaster, Bone Talisman, Ceres discard deck, because you get those resurrects from the Bone Talisman, you get those resurrects from the Priestesses. You've got a hell of a lot of resurrects there. And bears, all the bears that we currently know exist in Gwent are decent numbers of points. So I think Bone Talisman, you were saying about cards that were written off. I think Bone Talisman, with now seeing Beastmaster, is one of those cards that I'm really excited about to do a kind of a bear necessities deck, should we say?
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I think that is overestimating how good rezzing a bear over and over is. Like, Bone Talisman's fun, but is it better than Priestess of Freya rezzing an 8-strength Beastmaster? Probably not. Like, Beastmaster's insane as a restore target. That's a 19-point restore target. It's pretty cool.
But I'm saying if you get those extra resurrects, like the point I have is that you're getting 3 more reses in your deck. So I'm not saying don't run restore and don't run
both of them. Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and then just res everything.
Jesus, that is pretty fucking resurrect. Yeah, that's a lot of resurrects. I'll give you that.
Wait, so is the bear card like a literal bear card, or is it like
it's the bear that Grimace spawns? It's like the 11 strength bear.
Okay,
yeah.
But the Bone Talisman resurrects a beast, and bears are beasts generally.
Mm-hmm.
Freddy, pick a card. Any card.
Ooh,
that we haven't already picked.
I think Stregobor is that how you say it?
Oh yeah.
Stregobor, yeah, he seems pretty cool. Like a super unique effect. And I don't want to say this, but it might work well for Mill.
Oh no.
I shouldn't have said it. But yeah, it seems really cool, but
depends if Mill actually will be a viable archetype after the update.
Oh, don't tease me like this, pal. Just delete it from the game.
Delete it from the game.
Delete it. Delete all. You're adding so many cards that you could just delete all the Mill cards. Nobody would realize for like at least 20 minutes. You'll be fine. You could get out the office by then. Just delete them and run. It'd be great.
I'll just go to Retas's desk and like delete everything. Woo, I'm gone.
Control F mill and just delete everything.
The thing is, I think like between Freddy and Croaky's, like they'd figure it out pretty quick. They'd be like, right, what am I going to put in my mill deck this time around? I don't think it would be.
I'm done with mill. Long gone
sure?
are the days. Yeah. We'll see. But
I think it's an interesting card with the Nilfgaard card that puts a card at the top of your deck, whose name I forget.
Stefan Skellen,
yeah, because then if you can guarantee your 1 strength or your card that you don't mind becoming 1 strength, it gives you a lot more value. And also cards that, you see the top card. So Gales, for example, if you can see what you're putting at the top of your deck, there's situations where I think Stregobor could really shine, depending on what you put in your deck and, how you can kind of adjust the order of cards in your deck. So all in all, I would say that, like Freddie says, it's a really interesting card and hopefully no mill.
Yeah.
There's like that one guy in the chat like, how dare you insult Mill? I love them. They're my favorites.
Like, I want all of my Gwent games to take at least half an hour.
Shout out to that guy who's really angry right now.
Yeah, the player who only plays Mill.
It hurts my soul. All right, Merchant. Pick a card. Any card.
Pick a card. All right. I want to talk about... Oh, there's actually so many. Okay, I want to talk about maybe the most controversial card so far. Geralt Irden is looking pretty spooky. It's like, it's raining Mardromes. It's pretty good. I know. What do you guys think about this card? Because I'm kind of terrified of it.
Yeah, if it was in the game right now, it'd be like crazy good, right? You could just instantly win against spies. But
it would be pretty fucking good.
Oh, if boosts are still good next patch, then it'll probably be pretty damn strong in like Skellige, who don't have many.
I mean, it like kills Nekka's dead, right? Like, it's just ripped to Nekka because it's a neutral. Like, fuck, basically.
Yeah.
But is it not one of those cards that kind of oscillates in the same way that Weather Clears do?
Yeah,
as soon as people start running Erden, people are going to start playing boost decks. So then Erden becomes way less powerful. So then people stop running Erden. So people start running boost decks. So like I think like it's not going to be as kind of all encompassing as people say, simply because you're going to kind of have this kind of oscillation of what people are playing based on cards like that. Assuming it's as strong as we say it is, because obviously we don't know exactly what is coming. I mean, we've already seen these kind of teasers about roll limits and stuff, and nobody has any idea how that exactly works. So it's kind of risky to say that it's strong, but based on current Gwent, like it is, you can clearly see like why people think so.
It's the old D-bomb effect though, right? Which was pretty strong. Like, yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. It's got good card art. I like that. That's good.
Oh, I got D-bombed the other day, actually. I was like, oh, good for you, mate.
Fuck.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah, I lost because of it as well. I was just like, I did not expect that to happen. Good game. Burza, do you have anything to say about Erden?
I will say very spooky. But like everything...
Are you Erden?
I'm Erden.
Are you Burza?
I think like on the website also the tooltip is not proper, because it should be just reset all units and that's it without the token part. So that's the final tooltip. At least that's the one that is on the card right now. And I think current power on the card should be a 4 if I remember correctly. But don't quote me on that, of course, because these things are still kind of work in progress. I know that the team they're working on it. And some of the values I might see might change a little bit. The same goes with like any values that are within the tooltip, like if it's like strengthened, let's say by 2, it might be 1 or it might be a 3. There's still like tweaking and balancing stuff. So it's all subject to change. But as far as Geralt Erden goes, he's just reset all units and he's a 4. And that's pretty much that.
Okay, cool.
The other thing is I was going to say you can only play him once, but I guess you can renew him. So we'll forget that I said that.
Hell, obviously not exactly what, but we haven't seen any dwarf stuff yet. Is there dwarf stuff?
We saw one dwarf.
No? We saw one dwarf, but it's like questionable.
There is.
That's cool.
Just wait for it.
I want more dwarf stuff.
I mean, it's Scoia'tael, so...
Yeah, I saw more Scoia'tael stuff.
Yeah, me too. Go figure.
People have been getting proper salty about Scoia'tael. It's crazy.
No, I saw it, but I pretty much me and the rest of us are right now sitting down and choosing the cards that we want to reveal, and I'm specifically holding back on Scoia'tael like bomb cards. So
yeah, that's what I said. I basically said like they haven't had any of their super high impacts shown yet. Like there's no like Yennefer Tremors shown for Scoia'tael. So I was like, just wait. I'm sure they have something, because I was getting lots of comments like, why do they hate Scoia'tael? It's like, yeah, if you've ever seen Burza talk, you know he does not hate Scoia'tael.
Yeah, I don't.
Right, speaking of, Burza, pick a card. Any card.
Pick a card, any card. I want to talk about the werewolves, but then we have to talk about Moonlight, and we don't want to talk about Moonlight yet, because Moonlight is not complete. What do you guys think about the Slave Driver then? So spawn a bronze unit from your opponent's deck.
So I've seen lots of people saying that this card is really strong. I think it's really bad. I think even in a new game mode, were it to be a draft format, it would be bad. Like, I don't think it's a great card personally. I don't know, because people seem to think it steals the unit from your opponent's deck, which it obviously doesn't say it does. So
no, it spawns. Yeah,
it spawns. So I can never see this being like, you'll high roll every now and again and get something that you desperately need, like a Witch Hunter or something, but I just can't see it being that great, really.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the what are they called? The Alba Heavy Cavalry, or like.
Yeah. Alba Armored Division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. It's kind of like it can be pretty okay, but is it good enough? Maybe not.
Yeah.
I guess my issue with Slave Driver is like, why would you want to play your opponent's deck? Unless you're making like a meme deck where you're running like Avalak the Sage and the new Nilfgaard card that reses and then a bunch of Slave Drivers, and then your objective is literally to just play your opponent's deck and see what happens. Ultimately, are you not better off running your cards that work with your deck than trying to run your opponent's cards, which often have no synergies with your deck?
Well, yeah.
That's kind of what it comes down to.
He's basically bronze Avalak the Sage, right? Like, see if your opponent's got anything good and play it. Like, doesn't sound that appealing. And if you
choice.
And the funny thing is, you're exactly right there, Jagras, because normal people will be running cards that synergize for their own deck. So, you're going to get a choice between, like, a Blue Striped Scout, a Cade Venny Sergeant, and, like, a Trebuchet, which will do a bit of value. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a present card at all, personally.
But you could play, like, 3 of them and then decoy one and get, like, Neckers and Necker Warriors. And,
you do that in a tournament, but other than that, I think, like...
The memes would be pretty high.
Yeah, that's true.
High meme potential.
Okay, I want to talk about Ulfheiden because I love Axman and I love Skellige, so Darren is like my bro. And then Ulfheiden is like, oh, hey there, Darren, you want to be pals? Because we're just going to damage everything on the board. Admittedly, that there are no limits, but still. So I think Ulfheiden is going to have a lot of fun with Darren. Hopefully, they'll also remove artifact compression from the game at the same time and all forms of block. Just... I have faith that this will be the new Axman meta. I mean, they've been out of the meta a little while. They need a good comeback.
I think Ulfheiden is good enough for them to make a comeback. Like, that card, if you're playing into a long round 1 and your opponent has Ulfheiden and they're playing Axman, how do you win that round? Like, even if you've only got 5 units on board, if they're all damaged, that's an 18-point drop. I seriously think Ulfheiden's a really good card. I think it's amazing. So
yeah, he's great. I think he'll have an impact.
It's going to be rough depending on, like, as Axman always is, it's like, depending on what other decks are popular, that card could be one of the best in the game. Or it could be one of the worst. It could be like, well, nobody's playing a lot of tokens, Axman is dead, fuck Ulfheiden. But as soon as something like unit heavy comes around, Ulfheiden will be a good card.
Wait for tomorrow's Skellige gold that will show. I want to see how people react.
Oh god. It's double coral. Let's get
Oh no!
coral
Don't do
effect
this.
compression. Let's do it.
Oh, no, they brought back old coral. Don't worry. Freddie, how do you feel about Ulf?
Yeah, I mean, actually, like, that was one of the cards I was, like, most excited to see. It just seemed, like, really cool design-wise, and yeah, the art's lovely. It's probably, like, you know, at the level where it's, like, playable, but not too strong, which is, like, perfect, I think.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's right.
but, yeah, we'll see. And, oh, God, I keep saying that, but, yeah.
Freddie's like, yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to say anything until we.
Yeah, I don't want to commit
We'll
to,
see.
like,
We'll see.
Yeah. I'll look really dumb if I...
See, whereas me and Max are like, we're just going to full commit, and then if we look
Yeah.
dumb, and you just be like,
Yeah.
we're just-
That's what I always do. I spent like a month telling everyone Assassin would be OP, just because it's funny. I love just making outlandish claims about cards and pissing everyone off. Like a hobby. It's great. Yeah, I think it'll be... I don't know. I'm very excited about the new cards so far. I think Ulfheden is one of the ones I'm most looking forward to playing with, for sure.
Sounds good. Freddie, it's your turn again.
Another card. Ooh, okay. I actually kind of like the new dwarf guy. If I like understood it
Xavier?
correctly. Yeah, Xavier. He just So he's like getting buffed by the starting power of
So base in this case.
yeah. Oh, is it base? Okay. No, I thought it would be like starting power, so you could buff a dwarf or whatever, and then play it and get some extra value. Okay. It's not that exciting then, maybe. So.
Well, it depends what dwarves we get, right?
Yeah, true. The big dwarves. Could be fun.
Speaking of dwarves, the Isengrim that spawns, one of the options is spawn a silver Scoia'tael card. A lot of people have, well, some people, I don't know if it's a lot of people. I have heard, word on the street, is that potentially he could be good in a dwarf deck because there's a lot of good silver dwarfs. So having the option to try and find one, it actually might be really good. And on top of that, there are good just general silver cards, like To Reveal, for example, and Moran are both really strong Scoia'tael silvers that you could potentially get. Alternatively, you could get those extra dwarfs that you might need in a dwarf deck. And that whilst his effect of spawning any silver card, or a silver special card, or silver spell, maybe is a little bit out there, perhaps his other half, the kind of silver Scoia'tael cards, could actually be viable. Thoughts, feelings, opinions?
Yeah, I think Scoia'tael silvers are usually like either really good or really bad. Like a lot of them, like especially off just like a random if you get like a Bren or something, you're pretty sad. But if you get Hattori, you're getting like loads of points maybe, and so it's kind of a bit could go either way.
Yeah. I agree. I
Just
agree.
wait for tomorrow's Scoia'tael silver. I hope. I mean, I know Freddie, you'll like it like instantly, and once you see it, just tell me if you liked it or not.
Sure.
It's gonna be a meme.
Sure,
See, Burza's hyping this up now, so chat, you got to be prepared. I actually missed the last dev stream because I got my time zones wrong. I watched it. It showed up at 10, and I was like, why are we hosting Pumpkin? What is going on? And then I was like, oh no.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, the best part was hosting Pumpkin for, I think, like 6,000 viewers. And he was like, it was great.
So that's Burza's best part of the dev stream. I think some people might disagree that is the best part of the dev stream, but it's always fun to see people get hosted with crazy viewers. Merchant, pick a card. Any card.
All right, let me have a look. I want to highlight. Ooh. Oh yeah, I want to highlight Viper School Witcher.
Ooh.
So the alchemy card one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Merchant seems to have frozen in the shows. But Viper School Witcher, so this card, based on the alchemy cards in your initial deck, so the deck that you build in the deck builder, does damage, and the more alchemy cards that you have, the more damage that he does. He is a 7 strength unit, so it's all about building your deck around that. Freddie, how do you feel about alchemy cards?
Yeah, I love that it has like an element of, if you built your deck this way, then it does this. Like, that's really cool because it's incentivizing, like, just building consistent decks, I guess. But I don't know, it looks pretty. Merchant seems to have disappeared.
He's gone.
No, we lost him. Yeah, I think the numbers on it are a bit scary, maybe, but like that might be a good thing to. Ooh. Right. Yeah, to enable like Alchemy Nilfgaard, and I think that card will definitely help. Should be cool.
Yeah, Alchemy Nilfgaard will kind of, I think, become a thing now. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see something totally new coming to Nilfgaard, and I mean, everything that's designed around them is always kind of like bamboozly in a way. So it'll be funny. We have a nice camera thing now going on. Oh, we're back.
Did you hear what I said? I have no idea if you heard what I
No.
said.
You picked a card and then
I picked a card and then I spoke to myself for 30 seconds and I realized my net had gone down. I said Viper School Witcher because I think it's a super fucking cool card.
No, we heard that bit.
We've been talking about Viper School Witcher while you were gone.
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool card? Yeah, everyone.
See,
Fun card.
I want to make a Viper School Witcher Saskia Dragonfire deck where you just run way too many alchemy cards, but it doesn't matter because you're going to banish them all anyway. And then your Vipers are basically set. So in your mulligan, you're like, right, where are my alchemy cards? Get them all in the hand, throw them away, draw new ones, draw Viper School Witches, and then just like destroy one very large unit that your opponent isn't going to have.
But does it work off your initial deck or how many cards are currently in your deck?
It's initial, yeah.
It's initial,
Yeah.
okay.
Initial.
That's super powerful then.
Yeah.
That's good. Like, you could literally just run 3 Crow's Eyes, and those are like 13 base bronzes. That's really good shit.
Mahakam Ale.
Mahakam. Yeah, you could run that too.
It's like technically better because you don't have to rely on your opponent playing cards. You can play the cards and set it up. So.
But Crow's Eye does more damage.
Crow's Eye's better, yeah. I like Crow's Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as soon as you play one Crow's Eye, they're like, and then they fill their rows. See? CDPR has your back there, Merchant. They're like, I'll play around Crow's Eye. Well, you can't do that anymore.
I think that card's going to be fun, and I think that card's going to be viable. I just like it when you see a card that, like, you can be fairly confident is actually going to be viable. I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that that's one of them, so, yeah. Cool card.
Burza, pick a card. We're running out of cards here.
Pick a card. What about Brewis Ritual? Resurrect 2 bronze Death Wish units, so more tools for Death Wish overall. How you guys feel about that?
Well, that seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that card could be really scary.
See, my issue with Death Wish is that Death Wish has loads of cool tools, but the current set of Death Wish cards feel a bit underwhelming in terms of what they do and how you trigger them. So like the Golem, and I mean Neckers are good, but Neckers are good because their Death Wish pulls another Necker, so you're not necessarily wanting to resurrect 2 Neckers unless you're running a Necker Swarm deck, in which case you're going to lose Gwent Slam. So so I think it's a really cool tool, but I'm more excited to see new Death Wish cards that you can play it with. That's like one of the things I want to see revealed, hopefully in the rest of the set, that we'll see some new Death Wishes that do neat things that you're going to be excited to resurrect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Simple as that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I'm going to stop making points. I'm just going to let you guys can make the points from now on. Oh, it's my choice. I'm excited. I'm going to pick. It's tough. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go with Werewolf because I want to talk about Moonlight, even though Versia didn't want to talk about Moonlight. So there was like an image on the subreddit of a Chinese version of Moonlight. There was like a hand and a moon, and it just said boon or hazard.
Yeah.
So the word on the street is that Moonlight is possibly either. But Alpha Werewolf, I believe if it's played into Moonlight, then you spawn 2 wolves, and the wolves are little 1-strength wolves that hang out with him. I'm assuming I'm getting my werewolves the right way around. And then there's regular werewolf, which is 7 strength. And on contact with Moonlight, it strengthens itself by 7. So it sounds like one of them you have to play it into Moonlight, and one of them, just if Moonlight exists, it gets buffed. We don't really know what Moonlight does, but it may be a boon or a hazard. I think that's about everything I can say about Moonlight. That's everything that I can think of about Moonlight. But how do people feel werewolf decks, werewolf archetype?
Yes.
Someone have an opinion?
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be nice and crazy. But Moonlight overall needs some work overall, because we got to a point where it was just, I think, a little bit too crazy. So it'll be toned down a little bit. So I hope it'll work the way as intended.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to like the gameplay between boons and hazards. I think could be like a really niche thing. Like if you override weather with boons, or like, play, hazards on their boons or whatever. Yeah, it could be really cool. But
yeah, for sure. I think I really like the idea of more boons coming into the game. Like one of my 2 favorite cards that were added this time was like Ale of the Ancestors, just because it's something different. It's something cool, right? Like it's just more space to do fun shit, which I think is really great for the game. I'm very excited to see what Moonlight does personally.
See, I'm wondering if Dagon will then get Moonlight, because he's got Fog and Frost and Rain. So he's kind of the boon / I guess at the moment hazard deck. But if Moonlight is a boon and or hazard, then I'm wondering if that might be something to, guarantee at least one Moonlight, because that's kind of what Dagon does, is he guarantees at least one weather effect by running him. So if we see this archetype, that's something I've been thinking about.
Yeah,
do I have anything else to say about Moonlight? I don't think so. I think we're good. Freddy, pick a card.
Okay. Oh, I heard some people talking about Parasite in the chat. Because the art for that card is pretty PG, I think is the term. Actually, yeah. Seems like a cool card. It's like you can play it as Manticore Venom right now, or you can play it as a 12 buff, which pretty flexible, right?
But like, when would you play it?
I don't know. Spell monsters, is that a thing? No. Maybe at some point. I don't know. It could just looks cool. I don't know. Yeah.
See, because that's my concern. Is like the art is really, really cool, but at the moment I don't get where you would play it. Because 12 boosts just seem like you're setting yourself up for Ignis and Scorches and those kind of effects, which people will still run. Like people have run Igni and Scorch since like the start of Gwent, and people will continue to run Igni and Scorch at some point. So then buffing yourself by 12 is a risk, and how often will you get the full value of the damage? Because often you can remove cards with other cards that I guess are overall better and don't take up a silver slot.
Yeah, I guess maybe it would be like a tech card to remove Villain Trestle or something, and then if you don't need it for that, you just boost. But I don't know. It'd be cool to see it played, because it looks really nice. I mean, nice.
Beautiful card, beautiful art, especially in premium.
It's. I have nothing to say.
I mean, either it will be a card that will see a lot of play, or it will be a card that people will try to kind of, get away from. But it's hard. It's hard to judge. I mean, we'll see when the meta kind of starts shaping up a little bit. But right now, it's kind of like it's hard. It's either a hit or a miss in this case.
See, I think it's one of these cards in some ways like Hailstorm, in that Hailstorm, kind of existed in its state for a long, long time, and then a certain meta made it really, really good. And maybe it's that sort of card where under certain conditions it will suddenly see a lot of play, but in its current state, based on the current state of the game, not on obviously what we're going to see in the midwinter update, it feels a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. Whose choice? Is it my choice? Is it Burza's choice?
I think it's your choice.
Let's go with Uma. Let's talk about Uma's curse.
Ooh. Spicy. Uma Gate 2017.
Fucking Uma, man. What a meme. It's like the meme of memes, right? It's like, I don't know, if you only have 4 gold cards because you accidentally disenchanted or not disenchanted, milled everything else.
Everything.
Yeah, you can. Theoretically, it's the best free-to-play card in the game because you can play every single gold card as if you had it. So, yeah, I'm sure there's lots of positives to that card.
Yeah.
It's great for beginners to learn the golds so that they know what to craft in the future.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, you have to know most likely all the golds to kind of know what you're gonna hit with that card. But I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for sure.
See, I think it'll be great because then we can make like an Uma compilation video, and it's just going to be all of these spicy, like fantastic Umas, and it's going to be like the next big thing on YouTube. And then me and Merchant are going to just have to quit, or start making Uma compilation videos.
Yeah, I'm just going to start making Gwent funny moment videos.
You need content. some like air horns, a little bit of like NLG, some Doritos. Yeah, exactly. You got a full commit. I think that's the direction that Gwent content creation is definitely going in.
Too much.
Right, Freddie, pick a card. We don't have that many left.
Me again? Whoa.
Yeah, it's almost as if every like 4 you have to pick one.
Yeah, but it literally just went me, you, me. But no, okay.
Yeah.
Did it? I asked you was next.
It's okay. I'll pick another one. I'll pick another card. Kian. That's another one with some really cool art.
Kian, yeah.
I like the Chinese art of Kian. That's good.
Yeah, I saw that.
it's just nothing. It's a fucking sword. Yeah, no, Kian's fun.
Probably another one of these like really cool for draft mode cards. Maybe not so good competitively, but who knows if the average value is high enough? Then yeah.
Well, it depends if you have alchemy cards that you want to draw or an item that you desperately need, then he'll work. But yeah, pretty much we'll have to wait and see for him.
I think like Kian will actually. The only thing I think his base might be a little low. I think if his base was a little higher, he'd be a good draft mode card. But in a constructed deck, I can't see it. Like you've always got to in constructed at least. You've always got to. It's why I like draft modes and MTG and stuff because you can really like just judge cards by what they do. Whereas in constructed, you've got to like argue: would I take this card over, Dijkstra, John Natalis, stuff like this. So yeah, I don't think that he'll find a spot in a constructed format, but in an alternative game mode, he could be really fun.
I think it depends on the items a lot because at the moment we've only seen, I think, 4 or so. So it depends on what other items there are. Because when the item pool is very small, he's going to be much more consistent. So then it might be that
you just run those items and tutors, right? Because he's Northern Realms, you just run the guy that tutors for items and do it that way.
It depends how strong the items are, but yeah, I think that's fair to say, ultimately. But the guy that tutors for items only pulls bronze items, I think.
Yeah, true. If there's like amazing silver items, then maybe. But he's only spawning them, so gonna be interesting. Do we know what the ratio of like bronze to silver on him will be? Like, will it be like 2 bronze, 1 silver, or is it just totally random?
We shall see.
Because if it's guaranteed, like you get at least 1 silver, then it maybe feels a bit safer to try and high roll.
But do you ever like actually pick a bronze over a silver? That's pretty neat.
Alchemy, you could pick like, is Marjoram an alchemy, or is it just organic? I think it might just be organic.
Yeah.
Maybe it's both. Let me look that up. Chat's gonna be like, "Oh, you fucking retard! It's this."
You don't know it? Come on, man.
Marjoram is a. Why can't I see? So it's just an organic. It's not an alchemy ingredient. It's just an organic.
Oh man, I hate the wait and see answer.
Sorry.
Chad's hungry for leaks.
I know they are. I've already given so many today, though.
Aren't they getting they got 20 cards 2 days ago and 20 cards tomorrow? So
we are hungry for leaks, Merchant.
I can't keep up with the leaking. It's just all the time something, and it's just crazy.
All right, Merchant, pick a card.
All right. I want to talk about. I can't believe nobody's raised this one yet. I think this is a really cool card. Hubert Reich that's going in. I think he's a cool card. Because surely if you just play Foltest and play him, he's like 20 points. 20 plus points.
Yeah, but like you lose out on the value that you would get anyway later on, so it's kind of like...
Is it not like a coin flip abuse opener though? Like Foltest, Hubert Reich, see you later? I don't know. I think it could be interesting. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
I like his art as well. I like the little reference in his art. It's cool.
See, but he kind of looks like he's checking out Priscilla. rather than what he's actually intending.
Well, he
so
is.
I was just like, there's Priscilla with her cute little pantaloons, and then it, like, kind of on the art, it looks like he's checking her out. And then you play The Witcher, and you're like, huh, that is not why that card's art is
he
like.
was really checking her out.
There's one funny story with that card, because just before the stream, we're gonna show the premium of the card, and someone forgot to rig her model properly, and she had physics where she isn't supposed to have physics. So it was quite funny.
That's fucking hilarious.
Someone in QA caught it, so we were fine.
That's fantastic.
But it would be funny.
Yeah, Powell, what new cards coming have physics on? What jiggle physics are we getting in the game? That's the
I
most
think-
important thing.
I think Brewis Ritual is where you're
Yes.
supposed to be looking.
Oh man.
Focus.
Yes.
Brewis is Basket Head. Basket Head is my one true waifu, so I'm happy for this.
Yeah.
I actually forgot that she was
Basket
called Brewis because I call her Basket Head. Yeah, like me and
Like a
Basket Head.
horrible
Like
version of Buckethead. Jeez.
Basket Head. Don't judge her and her basket. Some people were born that way, Merchant. Just because you weren't born with a basket on your head.
Maybe I was.
Freaking degenerates these days, honestly.
How dare you? Only Swim told me that.
Terrible.
Only swimming, literally half of the Gwen community. The other half being the half that can swim in degenerate, of course. There's actually the next faction war coming to Gwent. It's like you got to pick a side, swim or merchant, and then you play your faction, and then whoever wins gets like a premium merchant or a premium swim.
Yeah,
and
except
if you lose,
everyone in my Discord would pick Swim just to troll me. So I don't think I did.
right, Pebble, pick a card, any card.
Any card. What do you guys think about Ointment, or Poultice as it's called?
Why is
Hmm?
it in brackets? Why is it Poultice brackets Ointment?
Because it literally had two names in between, like being changed from back and forth. So it's either going to be Poultice or it's either going to be Ointment. I think we'll stick to Poultice though. So the tooltip is choose one, heal an ally, and randomly split 5 boosts between allies, or resurrect a bronze unit with 5 or less power. Simple as that.
It's very interesting to see Graveyard play bleeding into other factions. I think it seems like that's something that you guys want to open up for most factions, which is interesting because I think there'll definitely be like a power struggle in making sure that it's still special for Skellige, but that other factions are able to do it for dynamic's sake. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm interested to see how it's handled. So.
Ready?
Yeah, I love all these cards with choose one option or another. It's really awesome. You get to pick, what's best for the situation. Hopefully it doesn't become you just play it for the one option. You need a heal or you need to revive, whatever, and you can do both. The res might be really, really good on some things. I don't know. Slave driver, you can play 6 slave drivers and play your opponent's deck. There we go. Found the meme.
Then you have the perfect counter to your opponent's deck because you just play your opponent's deck and then everything comes down to a mirror,
exactly.
and thus it's effectively a coin flip.
Yeah.
And that's how you win the Gwent Challenger. I think it's interesting. I agree with Freddie. These kind of choice cards are nice because it gives you kind of options, and having options is always good because you can tech around one thing, and then if that doesn't work out, then you have the choice of having something useful. Because if you don't have a situation where there's anything good to heal, that you maybe don't want to go for that option. You maybe want to go for the res instead. And there are a lot of small Nilfgaard cards, like Vic of our Medic, for example. Although I think they're doomed. Are they doomed? Maybe I'm wrong. Combat Engineer.
Yeah.
The new guy, Slave Driver, and so there's this kind of potential options there. I think it's a neat card. Poultice/Ointment.
It's Sell. Just put all the synonyms in there. It'll be good.
I think it's just it's a definition. It's just in case you don't know what a poultice is. It's CDPR going to teach you.
Most people who don't know what a poultice is, if you said it's an ointment, would then reply with, "What's an ointment?"
It's a balm. Oh, it's a balm.
Oh, it's a salve. Okay. What's a salve?
Easy.
Well, I mean, honestly, Gwent is like a 400 IQ game, right? So everyone should know what a poultice ointment salve is. Jeez. Moving on. I'm gonna go. I'll pick Pavko. I'll pick Pavko
Ooh,
Gale.
spicy.
Someone's gonna have to pick it. So it's probably me. Are you doing the voice lines, Burza?
We'll see. Like because my card was kind of squeezed in, let's say, last minute to the update. So it's not super finalized yet. But I've already been talking with the audio guys to maybe do something with the audio for it. So in the beginning, no. Later on, who knows?
Does that mean there's someone else that voices you? And then they have to follow you around from now on, and like just whenever you want to say anything, they have to do it.
What the most interesting thing for me was when we first showed the card is like people writing on Reddit that it ruins their immersion, and what does Sapkowski think about us adding like real people? And I'm like, dude, it's just we're trying. You mean like we're creating some backstory to him and stuff like that. I mean, come on, it's not. It's fine. It's fine. It's not literally me, but it's like my counterpart within the Witcher lore.
It's literally you. Like
that's hilarious. I actually think it's a good card, though. I think that's probably going to be a really good card.
I hope so. I want to get nerfed. That's my dream. That's on my bucket list. Like first, my bucket list was like I want to have my own card or like my presence in the game. And if it's the Witcher universe, that's like mind blown. So I have that. Now I just need to be nerfed and just take it off the box. Yeah.
Oh, then we can like scrap you for full value. Didn't you like craft? What was it you crafted on a stream and then scrapped like 12 times just for lols?
Premium Vabion.
So this is Burza's gonna be like crafting.
Yeah, everyone in my chat was complaining about like the cost of cards, so I just made and scrapped Premium Vabion. Like I think I did it 4 times. I think I spent about 10,000 scraps on pissing off my chat, which was probably the best thing I've ever spent scraps on, to be honest. So, yeah, no, that was fun. And also, Vabion's a fun card. Well, it used to be a fun card. The CDPR ruined him. Fuck. F's in the chat for Vabion, boys. Jesus.
Pray for Vabion.
Pray for Vabion.
I actually did love that card, and then it got deleted, and I was like, oh, feels bad, man. Now I've got 4 premium Vabions and nothing to do with them.
Don't worry, because Freddie will bring it to the next Gwent Slam, so you're good.
Yeah, probably.
Don't even joke about that. Oh no.
Who says it's a joke?
That's the card that's going to Challenger.
I mean, you just. Yeah, you get to kill Elder, right? Like, once he eats everything. Many, many points.
Okay, so I think we've got like 2 cards left. So I'm gonna pick now. Sorry, Burza. We have Damned Sorceress. She's the one where I believe there's a cursed unit on the row, then she does damage. I think it's a 4 and a 6 or something like that. 3 and 7.
4 and 7. 4 and 7.
There you go. 4 and 7. But you need a cursed unit. Someone have an opinion?
I think it's bad.
No, there'll be a lot of cool cursed like tools, so don't worry about that. There's more and more cursed stuff, so don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
I read comments on YouTube that said it's a bad card, so you're wrong. Thanks.
I can't argue with that, really.
Exactly. How can you argue with the might of a YouTube comment section? Why even try?
Oh dear. Freddie?
Yeah, I mean, it looks really cool. I think the Scoia'tael getting Panther as well, right? Which is kind of similar. So maybe like it's an expansion of all their like removal cards, and then Owl's Thunder maybe gets tweaked a bit, and then more control options is always good. Maybe
moving removal onto units rather than onto special cards.
Yeah. I guess that allows you to play it without feeling bad every time you just play a spell from hand. You actually get some like points on the board as well. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, I was just gonna get a tweak. I just double checked. Yeah, just to be sure. So it's not like a promise without delivering.
That's cool.
I mean, the other thing is we did have a meta at one point where like Control Radovid was what everyone played, but Control archetypes have been kind of missing from Northern Realms for a little while, so maybe this can help kind of revive it. We have machines, but all of the machines, they do small amounts of damage. So while it is control. It's not control in the same sense that Control Radovid was, which was just like, let's just burn everything. And then play Baron. Oh, good times.
Can I pick the next card? 'Cause I got one I want to talk about.
Go.
All right, I want to know, because I'm excited for this card while also being able to not think of any ways to actually use it. You know, Half Elf Hunter.
Yeah.
That's a fucking cool card. I don't know why, I just like the card. It's like Scoia'tael PFI. But how the fuck do you use it? Like, how do you use that card? Don't all answer at once. It's okay.
Like, I have no idea.
You just spawn a copy. That's simple as that.
Yeah, I know literally what the card does, pal. But, like, how do you like put it in a deck? I don't know.
I don't think.
No, it's called a base copy. Handbuff doesn't work on it.
Yeah, I don't think I saw someone. I don't think I saw someone playing it while testing. I would have to like double check because I haven't tested it myself, so I'm not a good person to ask.
Oh yeah, Briarhead Vanguard. Actually, people are pointing out in the chat. It synergizes nicely with Briarhead Vanguard. It synergizes nicely. Does he count as an elf if he's a half elf? Oh yeah, he is an elf. He's got an elf tag.
Tag, yeah.
So Alaran, he's pretty good for, right? Like you can speed run out Alaran.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's actually pretty good. Like if Alaran remains good,
it gives you 2 rather than 1.
Yeah.
It depends what roll limits do.
If Alaran remains good, that card might actually be pretty good for like a tempo opening.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, elves are fraternizing with filthy Dwans, and thus this card does not deserve to be played at all.
Dude, the Dwan!
I mean, we're meant to be putting the 8 men in the sea. You know, that's.
8 men to the sea! Fucking love it.
Yep.
Scoia'tael have the best voice lines.
It's true.
I hate you, Dwan!
And Merchant confirmed.
Yeah.
I should voice Melina. That is true.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So we do have to talk about Ornamental Sword now. This is another one of those spawning cards. Spawn a Skellige soldier and strengthen it by 3.
This is really, really cool. Like I've seen it in action, it works pretty well. I have to say, like, it's just great. Simple as that.
Yep, I think it's good for like almost any Skellige deck. I think like you can look at almost every like Cursed and Veteran and stuff. Like if you hit a Veteran off that, it's so fucking good. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's a bunch of good shit for that. Marauders again, really good. Yeah. I think that's actually one of the cards that might end up seeing constructed play. The problem is Skellige silver slots are so tight. So
yeah.
Are there any like good Skellige like silver soldiers at all? Are there any? I don't know.
Is Jenge a soldier? He's like a bounty hunter, right?
Yeah, I think most of them are like officers or something.
Just Yutan Dimon is a soldier, I think.
Because that's the question: is what silver is
So Jenge is a soldier.
Yeah. Well, he's
Oh,
pretty
man,
fucking
like
good.
if you hit Jenge off, that's crazy, dude.
RNG
Yeah.
boys. Is Lugos is a soldier?
Lugos is that's what I was gonna say.
Oh.
Blue Boy Lugos.
Wait. Okay, Blue Boy.
But more than one Lugos is always terrible because then the whales just kill each other.
How dare you? Double, triple Lugos. Oh my god, you can get one more Lugos. You can triple whale them. And have a whale of a time.
A whale of a time. Nice.
Okay.
I like how when I make a pun, you're like, oh. But then you make...
You do it every 13 seconds, so it's more like an assault than anything else. But yeah, no, I think that card might actually end up being okay.
Yeah, I mean, can it like even hit golds maybe as well? I don't know if there are any Skellige gold.
Is
soldiers.
Madman Lugos a gold?
Like, if he is, that could be just crazy, right? Like,
if you
play a
spawn an
silver and you get a
additional
gold,
Lugos.
like,
No,
yeah.
he's an officer. He's an officer. He's not a soldier.
Okay.
What about Vabion? Hjalmar? All of these... No, Vabion's a cursed and a Svalblod.
Yeah,
Hjalmar...
golds are too good to be soldiers, you know?
The golds are all officers. The golds
realistically,
are all
they're not going to have a silver that spawns a gold because that seems
That'd be crazy.
counterintuitive. I think that's all of the 20 that we've talked about. If anyone wants to talk about any from last week, just to tie up this section, feel free. But I know Merchant pulled a few, but otherwise we can move on and talk about other topics.
Let's go.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so I guess the first topic we should talk about is the Gwent Challenger, which is taking place on the 16th and 17th of December. So this is a $100,000 tournament being hosted by CD Projekt Red. Freddie is taking part, along with, let me think, Jorah, Shaggy, Life Coach, Telbot, Adzakov, Game King. Who have I forgotten?
No.
Coleman.
Oh yeah, Coleman.
He always gets forgotten.
No. Sorry, Coleman. I think I did pretty well there.
Yeah.
So those are the participants. So I think Merchant, you believe you're casting as well, and obviously Burza, you work for CD Projekt Red. So I'm the only one who won't be there. You guys are clearly uncool. But what are you guys kind of looking forward to? Freddie, people were talking about Gwent Slam and whether you brought meme decks because you didn't want to showcase your good decks for Challenger, or
we smart.
Yeah.
Or do you just have more meme decks for Challenger? Like, the people need to know.
I don't know. I don't want to promise any big memes because get people's hopes up and then crush them like that would be a bit cruel. But yeah, maybe like 1 or 2 special cards. Let's see. should be really exciting though. Tournament. Like Life Coach is playing in it, so
yeah. Everybody wants to see what he's gonna bring to the table. I'm gonna know probably before because players are supposed to be sending in their decks like today, end of day, so midnight.
Wait, today? It's tomorrow.
Freddie's like, oh no.
No, tomorrow. Sorry, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So tomorrow end of day. So it's gonna be quite interesting to see what everybody's bringing to the tournament. Like preparation-wise, I think we look pretty much ready. What we're trying not to spoil is the place where the venue where we're gonna do it. So I won't have any like spectator places, but because it's mainly geared toward online. But the place is just amazing. I went there like a couple months ago just to scout out the place and see where we want to do what. And if everything goes the way we plan, it's just gonna blow people away. And I'm just excited for it.
I'm excited too.
Sounds good.
Merchant's like, it'll be all right.
I honestly disagree. I know, what Burza said. It's gonna be fucking dope. It's gonna be amazing.
Okay, so that's a couple more questions for you guys. Not in regards to necessarily Gwent Challenger, but just esports in general. So Merchant, as a caster, what is the most stressful part of casting? Like, if you were gonna say like the thing that you find most stressful or most challenging, what would it be?
I probably have quite a weird answer for this, but for me, it's probably the like traveling around so regularly. Like it does disrupt the rest of your life. It's very much so like a lifestyle thing. But at the same time, like what you're doing is kind of so amazing that it more than counterbalances it. But it's a very intense thing to be doing for sure. Like I'll have flown 8 times in 8 weeks to 4 events. Like, it's good. It's fun though. It's cool, right? Like I'll have done 2 opens I'll done open and challenger and 2 Gwent slams in the last 8 weeks. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's super fun. It's cool.
Living the life.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you just need to move to Poland. Okay, cool.
Pretty much, yeah.
How's your Polish?
Dzień dobry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Pierogi
plus. That's pretty much my fault. That's all I need, to be fair.
Yeah, you're good.
Cześć. I know that as well.
Oh, Cześć. Yeah,
yes.
Nice.
And Jenki. Jenki's good as well.
Jenki,
like
yeah.
Yeah, it's cute.
And Burza, from a, I guess, behind the scenes organizational perspective, what is one of the more stressful things that, CDPR has to deal with when putting on this sort of event, like things that people might not expect in terms of planning and preparation and that sort of thing?
It's just, I think, getting everybody there and hoping that everything will work. I mean, especially like if you look at the setup and to stream everything and to have all the overlays working. And since we don't have a spectator mode, it's actually a lot of more stuff. Like you don't know when the player will go into his graveyard, when, mulligan happens, you need to switch back and you need to do all the stuff. So that's like the most stressful thing, just to be sure that everything works. And now we also have like the control environment of who goes first in terms of the new coin flip solution that we have. So we pretty much have to always be sure that everything goes smooth when it's live. So like preparation wise before it is just a matter of us kind of making sure that our idea for the whole thing is actually going to be turned out the way we have in our mind, which is, you need to talk like to the people who are responsible for the place, and then the people who are responsible for doing the broadcast. So you need to kind of have everything working properly and going smoothly. So that's not very stressful because we try to do it like beforehand, and we have a whole team working on it. The most stressful part is just before the start, where you want everything just to go smoothly.
That's a fair answer. And one question for Freddie. Let's go with, how does, I guess, the prize pool affect your nerves? Because obviously you've played in $10,000 tournaments, you played in a $25,000 this tournament, and this is going to be a $100,000 tournament. Like, the prize pool is 10 times bigger than Gwent Slam, for example. Do you feel like that has a significant effect on you, mentally, in terms of how you play and the decisions that you make?
I don't know. I don't like. I'm pretty young and I'm studying, so I don't really like. I'm not splashing out on like, I don't know, cars and stuff after getting money. So I don't know. I don't really care so much about the money. It's more like, the fame, I guess, for winning and like being able to continue to play in tournaments, because that's what I really enjoy doing. So like, it's stressful, but not really for the money. More just like, those other reasons.
So that you can qualify for more stuff,
and
continue exactly.
to. I don't have to play, basically.
Live the dream.
Yeah.
But the money's nice too, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like a silver lining, Awesome. Well, I think we have some time now we're going to move on to viewer questions. So anyone in chat, feel free to. We're going to do at Gwentlemen generally as a tag, or if you want to ask someone specific, at Freddybabes, at Merchant, at your Burza 42, isn't it?
46.
46.
Come on.
Who doesn't know this? Come on.
Who has numbers in their name? For specific questions, but while people ask some questions, just for you guys in general, which is your favorite of you can't say Pavko because Burza is here, but which is your favorite new card in terms of art? So not in terms of perspective of like what it does, but in terms of the art, which one do you think looks the best? Freddie.
It's hard to choose. I really like Seltkirk. Like, I think a lot of people do. Like, the premium on that one is really nice, and also Haim is really cool. Oh, there's like so many, like Kian as well and Parasite as well. Yeah, hard to make a decision.
The art team has done a really good job. Like, it's if everyone's been saying it, like it feels like they've even cranked it up, even though the art already in Gwent is really good. Merchant, which one's your favorite?
I would probably go Yennefer Tremors because she's got those thick thighs, and I appreciate that.
Of course.
No, that's it.
Burza, which one are you gonna pick?
Pavko Gale, because I'm in the game. Yay!
And, I'm gonna have to go with the Brewers Ritual because she's got those thick thighs, and I really appreciate that.
That is
and
true.
Also a small army of like slave children. What's
I appreciate that.
Oh dear, I actually really like Lesser Demons with the cat and the dog with the ooze. I think it looks really cool. So that's one of the ones I really like. So moving on to questions. If any questions jump out at you from the chat, feel free to ask. I'm gonna have to scroll now and find some questions to ask you guys.
There was a question about our cooperation with Matthew Mercer and how it's going. It's been really, really cool. The guys are helping Matthew learn the factions, which was really, really cool to watch. And I think tomorrow there's another stream with Matthew and with Marisha, so that's gonna be really cool. Yeah.
And with Merchant, I think, is on that one. Are you not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm streaming with those guys tomorrow, which I'm super excited for.
They're really, really, really nice and really, really cool people to talk to. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be great. Like, I'm a big fan of their show, Critical Role. So I'm super looking forward to having them.
Same here.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's a really good question. That is a great question. Someone wants to know, Burza, how was your experience with streaming so far? Because Pebble has recently started streaming on Twitch.
It was interesting. It's awkward and weird, and I don't know how you people can do it, but yeah, it's fine. Like, I'm not used to doing a stream on which I don't prepare a script before. I just sit down and play the game, and it's for me. The beginning was like, okay, is this all? What am I supposed to be doing? So I just started pretty much not playing the game, talking to chat, which was more interesting. And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be playing. Oh, I'm playing kind of bad. Oh, okay. No, it's fine then. And what was interesting, I was like thinking that I should probably get some mods, like, and then I started just modding everybody because I think I know everybody in a way. Like, oh, I know this guy. I've seen him in swims. I've seen him in, like, I don't know, in Gwentlemen and pumpkins and jeansies, shizzles. I'm like, oh yeah, and then everybody pretty much is like just becoming mods. I think I have like 50 mods already, so it's just mod wars. Yeah. Overall, it's been fun. It's been fun. It's something different. I plan to resume on the weekend. The problem is in a way that I can't really put like a schedule up there because it's hard. I hardly ever have time for anything. So it's just like trying to squeeze in a stream from time to time. And I did the first one, like 1.2K people came, and I was like, holy shit. It was like, people actually want to watch me? Damn, that's nice. Yeah.
That is awesome. Here's a good question. So someone says, why can't we attend Gwent Open as a viewer? So I guess the question is, when will there be esports events that have an audience rather than are just occurring, in a studio with the casters and the players and CD Projekt Red?
I think like overall, I mean, Freddy's been to Open, Merchant's been to Open. You guys seen the amount of space that we have, and like we're doing it in our studio, in which we do a round of Gwent, in which we do Play of the Month, and in which we do almost every video that we publish. So overall, like, I mean, space-wise, it would be impossible to watch it live. We want to do something big for World Masters, but that's so far away. Like, maybe we're thinking about having a full like spectator place where people can actually sit down and watch. But that's far away still. It also depends what we'll do for the other challengers because we have more coming up. But for Open overall, like, due to the space wise, it will be impossible. Like most of the people watching would have to be like Freddy was when he wasn't playing his game, or Merchant when he wasn't casting. They were just pretty much in the studio, chilling on a couch with other players and CDPR employees and watching the game on the big screen. And that was pretty much it. Yeah.
Sounds good. A lot of these questions are for Burza. Sorry, Merchant and Freddy. A lot of them are kind of to do with CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, Deltascape asks about patch release. If the seasons are only going to be 1 month, how is that going to affect patch release? I think when Rethaz was here, he said that they didn't necessarily want to tie card updates to seasons because ultimately, would you rather have new cards, or would you rather wait till the end of the season? And everyone would rather have new cards.
Yeah. I think I have to say what Rethaz said. In terms of like it being finalized or not, I have no idea at the moment. I know that since the beginning, like of starting January, we'll be moving to a 1 month season. So we are reworking like rewards and stuff like that, because it'll be a lot harder to get the rewards like that you could actually get in 2 months. So yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is an question. So someone is asking. Okay, it's Snack. Snack is asking how the existence of Ointment affects the balance of Nilfgaard, because Ointment or Poultice, obviously you get the Resurrect with 5 or less power, and often in order to balance cards, sometimes you guys just take a couple points off. But ultimately, if you take a couple points off and bring it down to 5, it then becomes resurrectable, which may be seen as a boost. So I guess he's asking, how do you balance around that, and is that something that maybe CD Projekt Red are aware of or concerned about?
That's a good question. No, I don't think I'm the proper person though to ask about it, because I'm not a designer. I've said this numerous times, but yeah, I don't think I have an answer in this case.
Yeah, I guess you could just take a couple of points of the damage off instead, but yeah, it's pretty tricky.
Yeah, someone else asks why there's no new common cards. So in terms of the rarity of releases and crafting new cards, what's happening with that?
There'll be some commons. Don't worry about it. Like, I mean, if you overall look at the card pool, like right now we have a lot of commons, and we're kind of lacking a little bit of golds, and we're lacking a little bit of rares and epics and legendaries. So I think it will kind of even out a little bit, but there are also some comments coming with this update. So don't worry. No one's calling. It's just text messages. Don't worry about it.
Another question is whether new leaders get challenges, or how you obtain them.
Right now they'll be obtainable from normal kegs.
Okay. Obviously, if there's any other questions that you guys want to pull out of chat and answer, I'm just kind of skimming it at the moment.
Moonlight, my buddy from work, asked a question for Freddy, but I can't find it. Once I get to it, I'll say it.
I like how you baited us there by saying Moonlight.
Yeah, that's his nickname, Moonlight CDPR.
Baited. I was like, oh, he's got a wee leak for us, but apparently not.
No leaks here. Jesus, there's so many questions for me, and there was that one question. It was long, and I think it was good. I can't find it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say, what color is Moonlight's name? This makes it easier.
I have no idea.
Twitch chat colors are different for everyone in the room, unless they've got their colors set.
Oh wait, I found it. Question.
You found it?
Without giving away too much, what is your thought process when creating decks for tournaments?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what's going on in the meta, I guess. And like in tournaments, you either tend to, like, in Conquest at least, you take the stronger decks, or you try to like counter a deck that everyone will bring. And yeah, like it's all about thinking what your opponents are probably going to take, and then taking something that you're going to be able to win with. Yeah, pretty much that.
Cool.
Good question.
Someone asked how school is going, Freddie.
School is a bit of an interesting thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to see how Challenger goes and then work from there, basically. But it's not like too much work at the moment, so yeah.
That's first year, Exactly. We have another question about how you ended up working for CD Projekt Red, Burza, and like how that came about to be, I guess.
Yeah, I get that question a lot. It was pretty simple. I just was sitting home after work. I think I was working in like social media and PR for a company that had like a couple bars here next to the Visual River. And I just saw on Facebook, because I was really into The Witcher, I was playing Witcher 3 at the time, I saw an advertisement for, I think it was a community assistant or like social media assistant type of position. And I was like, I'll just apply. And I applied through their website, like sent in resume, cover letter. And yeah, I was asked to jump in for an interview. I had my first interview with Marcin Momot and a couple guys from like PR communication, and they gave me a set of tests kind of to do, and I did those tests at home, sent them back, and then I had another meeting with MPG, who's the global director for communications and PR, and yeah, they kind of liked me, I guess, and so I got the job, and yeah, and from that point on, it was just crazy, from like doing simple tasks to actually having the ability to work on projects. And since we're working on Gwent, and I was like the biggest card nerd, so they were like, yeah, we're gonna like they saw that I was really excited about the game because I was playing a lot of MTG at the time. They were like, okay, he's the perfect guy to kind of work on Gwent. So that's where it all started, pretty much.
Sounds awesome. I know a lot of people kind of envy the sort of job that you have. It's, I think, something that a lot of people in gaming would like to do. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see kind of how you end up there, which is always nice. I'm just trying to see if there's any more kind of pressing questions. A lot of them are stuff like, why is Spawn called Spawn and stuff, but ultimately, like, it's down to keywords.
I had this conversation yesterday yesterday, I think, with Rethis about kind of like, because I saw a lot of people talking on Reddit about the spawn kind of being similar to what Hearthstone has called Discover, and that spawn can mean multiple different things, and that it might be for some players that it might be problematic as to what means what. And yeah, we had a pretty much long conversation, and he just told me that, you know, they're pretty much gonna look into it, how it's gonna be finally called, if it's gonna be like this or if it's gonna be called in a different way. So pretty much, you know, it's still kind of in the air, but we're aware of like what the community was like very, very vocal about it. So we're aware of it. Yeah.
Sweet. I think we can end with one question that just says, what decks is everyone playing at the moment? So, Freddie, what deck you playing at the moment?
What deck am I playing?
What's your like go-to?
Oh,
That isn't for Challenger.
I've actually been playing a bit of Full Test.
Oh, he's
Something
Team
like a
Northern
good bit of
Realms.
Full
He wants
Test.
that.
Yeah. Well, no, I was playing a bit of Crack before that, and then everyone was like, "You need the premium Dijkstra," and I do. So, Northern Realms, yeah. Why not?
Merchant, what are you playing?
I'm currently playing Marika Male Dwarves because it's fun, and you just play Ale of the Ancestors Royal Decree, which is hilarious. And I also play Full Test as well.
You see, he's Northern Realms as well.
Yeah, I just play
Burza,
Squirtle and Northern
Well,
Realms.
Burza just plays Squirtle, but other than
Other than Scoia'tael, I tried recently playing a little bit of a Full Test. I think everybody's playing Northern Realms since actually I was laughing. I think it was also yesterday. Me and Rethis were laughing about when we were looking at statistics of which faction is being played the most. And we saw like a couple weeks before, it was pretty much everybody was playing Nilfgaard. Everybody's like, spies Nilfgaards, they're terrible. They need to be nerfed and stuff like that. And right now, if you look at stats, NR's like on the top just because Freddy won like open with it, and it's just so funny, and we're really having a nice laugh about it. But yeah, I'm also playing around with Full Test. But other than that, I'm just playing. I'm playing Mulligan Squirtle of Elias just for funsies, and other than that, yeah, Ale of the Ancestors, and then agitators that pull those other dwarves that get buffs, get additional buffs when they get buffed. So yeah, I'm having fun with that.
Nice. So got some Marauders in there as well. What have I been playing? I actually feel like I've been playing fairly even amounts of Northern Realms and Skellige. I'm not entirely sure which one I'm currently winning with at this point, because I've been playing a lot of what I like to call Commando Radovid. In that, like, obviously you run commandos, and then also there's like a pun in there. And I've been playing some great swords, like some Jenge crack great swords.
Ooh, nice.
I love great swords. And it was really cool to see Shaggy bring it to the Gwent Slam. I think it's awesome to see, and I think it actually did kind of lead to an increase in great swords on at least on the regular ladder, which was really neat. So it's always fun to see how these things affect the meta. So yeah, I've been playing those, and I made a Siri Dash deck that doesn't work, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's just really cool. Chow was saying that it's because of the faction challenge. We're actually looking at statistics before faction challenge, because we know faction challenge pretty much, if you look at it right now, people are playing at NR, but we're looking kind of before. So that's why we're having a laugh. Yeah.
Oh, before we wrap up, is the faction challenge something that maybe you'll change going forward? Because at the moment, it's very NR biased because people see that NR are winning.
Yeah, I mean, we had multiple meetings regarding that, and we want to, like, first of all, I think we want to have like proper rules, a little bit better rules for it, because in the beginning when we launched it, I think there was some information missing, and there was a lot of questions from players how everything works. So we pretty much want to do that better, and when we do it later, of course, we want to make it a little bit better. But it's also difficult, like, to choose, because we had this idea back some time ago, and I was like, yeah, NR and Skellige should be interesting and should be pretty much balanced when what people choose. But looking at it right now, it's not everybody's kind of leaning towards NR. Thank you, Freddie. So yeah, it's been interesting. We'll see later. Like, I have to think of an opponent for Scoia'tael, and like Monsters and Nilfgaard, that'll be weird. So I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking of how to match everybody up. Plus, we're missing kind of like one faction will be left without a pair in some way, which is weird. Unless we do it later when we have the new faction coming into the game, then maybe we could balance it out. Yeah.
See, now everyone's going to be hype about that. I thought your plan was we can do monsters versus Nilfgaard, and then we can do Squirtle versus Squirtle. Thus, Squirtle wins.
You should do elf deck versus dwarf decks.
Oh, elves versus dwarves.
Elves versus dwarves would be good.
Yeah.
Did that happen at Gwentlemen? How did that work out for you, Merchant?
Yeah, it went really well. I liked it when McBeard put an Ithilien in our deck and no spells.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. The last thing we have to do is shout outs and to tell people where they can find more of each of you. So we'll start with Merchant. I'm not going to start with you this time, Freddie. We're going to start with Merchant just to shake it up a little bit.
I would like to thank Life Coach and Wife Coach for inviting us for a lovely weekend of Gwent. That was a lot of fun. And I would like to also thank, Petrify. For being a meme. There you go.
Freddie, shout outs or where can people find you? Because Merchant apparently isn't going to plug his content.
Oh, yeah. You can find me on twitch.tv/Petrify and on Twitter at twitter.com/real Donald Trump as well. So, please follow.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch as well. I see Game King in the chat. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Shout out to him and also to Bane just for Lambert and all that he's brought me. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Easy.
Burza, any shout outs and things that you want to promote / plug?
Shout out to the Gwent community. Like I think that the reason why I actually got a card in the game is thanks to you guys. So thank you for the support. Thank you for the kind words. You've always been really, really good to me. Thank you for watching my weird streams that I do from home in this place. I plan to stream on the weekend, so if you could have some spare time, be sure to watch, and you'll find me everywhere. So yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and shout out to the dev stream tomorrow. Yeah, someone in
dev stream tomorrow. And Matthew Mercer's stream featuring Merchant is also tomorrow.
Exactly.
Burza, are you not going to still be on Matthew Mercer's stream when the dev stream goes on?
Due to the dev stream and due to time constraints, my part might be cut. I don't know yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I looked at the schedules. I was like,
Yeah, I was supposed to have a short kind of community talk with him, in Marisha, but I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Awesome. So I guess that's about it. I guess I have to do a shout out. I always pick someone in chat. So shout outs to A Dash, or I believe he goes by A negative, or A hyphen, or his preferred names.
A minus.
So shout outs to him, and obviously thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to Burza, Merchant, and Freddie for keeping me company this week. And keep an eye out obviously for the Gwent Challenger. We have some hashtags. If you support Freddie, it's #Babes for Babes. If you support Game King, it's #Long Live the King. I don't actually have any hashtags for anyone else, but we'll get there eventually. So remember that. But beyond that, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic evening / day, and hopefully we'll see you next time. And now we wave awkwardly at the camera until the stream ends. Bye.
Bye.
I'm just gonna wave relentlessly.
No,
we did a Mexican.